to resume practicing in preparation for their December 2nd game against the Sharks. We'll talk about some of the things this team has to do to turn things around and some possible trade options that are out there. Plus, we have our Islanders birthday of the day and a whole lot more to discuss on today's Locked On Islanders podcast.
Your Locked On Islanders, your daily podcast on the New York Islanders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Hope everybody is doing okay. And want to thank everyone who makes Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms, and that includes YouTube. So if you want to check us out and watch this podcast instead of just listening to it, please check it out on YouTube, and all the episodes should be up there. And it's, you know, something that we enjoy adding to everything. Let's put it that way. It's a nice little bonus. This episode is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. The holidays are around the corner, and finding the perfect gift is tricky, but Omaha Steaks makes it easy to send friends and family an unforgettable gift guaranteed to be loved. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter NHL into the search bar to order the perfect gift package. We have got a lot to talk about on today's show. Player placed on waivers over the weekend that has something the Islanders might need in the scoring area. We'll talk about that and why I think it's not a good idea to add that particular player. We'll also talk about some changes the Islanders can make internally to try to get things jump-started, especially on offense. And we have our Islanders birthday of the day and a whole lot more. So all of that coming up on today's show. If you have something Islanders related on your mind, if you have a question, a comment, a topic you'd like us to talk about, feel free to email the show. The email address is lockedonislanders@gmail.com. And if you leave your first name and where you're from, we're happy to mention you on the show when we talk about whatever it is that you want us to discuss. You could also follow the show on Twitter at Locked On Isles, and you could follow me, Gil Martin, on Twitter at Ice Wars, NYRVSNYI. We'll keep you up to date on all the latest Islanders news, notes, and happenings. And I am also live tweeting during nearly every Islanders home and road game. So always great to talk to fans and interact with them while the so please feel free to over the weekend. Just in order to his way out of San Jose. So essentially, the Sharks from last season you to take them and look. What the basically goal scoring to the team and I was dead last in the NBA in goal score. So you know that veterans, you know that they don't have all that much to draft pick. This except doesn't. Here's why. One game, big team with a fake COVID-19 card. Certainly, good. Will make you getting the floor model, or you're getting the that's not going to run. And some of Kane from the show has a reputation for getting along with everyone and is one of the more popular players in the San Jose dressing room. Basically said, I'm not playing. If you bring him back, send me somewhere else. I could not imagine with reputation. To add this kind of guy to distraction. The others are already led in scoring to me, personal level. I would love to get back on ice speed and how New York looking to try to bowl. We have our Islanders birthday of the day and a lot more still to come on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Omaha Steaks, and I'll tell you, receiving Omaha Steaks, and I got them as a gift once. Boy, it was a great gift. Really satisfied me, and it's so delicious. It's like someone who gives you Omaha Steaks, you know that they appreciate you and they know the things that you like. Now, the holidays are around the corner, and finding the perfect gift is tricky, but Omaha Steaks makes it easy to send friends and family an unforgettable gift that's guaranteed to be loved. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter NHL into the search bar to order the perfect gift package for $99.99. You'll get 24 entrees like the world-famous bacon-wrapped filet mignons, chicken breasts, sides, desserts, and so much more. And when you use code NHL, you'll also get an additional 8 Omaha Steaks Burgers free with your order. We've all heard reports about shortages and shipping delays, so don't wait. Order the perfect gift package today at omahasteaks.com, and you'll get 8 free burgers when entering the code NHL. Achieving gifting greatness with Omaha Steaks. Incredible flavor, incredible value, and 100% guaranteed. omahasteaks.com, keyword NHL. So you look at the Islanders right now, and you look at what this team has, and what team has gotten 30 goals now in 17 games. That's less than 2 goals a game. Losing streak. All of the games except one by 3 or more. One was the last game the day after Thanksgiving, which the Islanders lost 1-0. Think about this. Ilya Sorokin has a .928 save percentage and a 2.42 goals against average, and he has only won 5 out of his 13 starts. This team needs goal scoring. And low scorer, Brock Nelson, 9 goals in 15 games, out of the lineup for at least another couple of weeks. Oliver Wahlstrom has 5 goals. He is the next highest goal scorer on this team, but he hasn't scored in, 3 weeks now? Kyle Palmieri, top 6 forward, 1 goal in 17 games. Josh Bailey, top 6 forward, 1 goal in 12. J.G. Pageau, 20-goal scorer last couple of years, or at least on pace for it last year. 16 games, 1 goal. Zach Parise, 17 games, no goals. Casey Cizikas, 16 games, no goals. You go down the line and you realize this team is not producing. So the question becomes, you're not getting Brock Nelson back. You're not getting Ryan Pulock back right away. And you know that it'll take a little time to get some of these players back from COVID. But what can the Islanders do to try to jazz things up? First of all, Josh Bailey is coming back. He's out of the COVID protocol. Had there been a game Sunday against the Rangers, it was going to be a game-time decision as to whether Bailey would be available. To me, right now, one thing the Islanders could do is put Bailey on that third line with J.G. Pageau. People are critical of Josh Bailey sometimes. I am a fan of his, but one thing even his critics believe, Josh Bailey is one of the better passers on this Islanders team. J.G. Pageau is struggling. Zach Parise is struggling. Flip him onto that third line with Parise and with Pageau. Give those 2 guys the best passer on the team with the idea that Bales will set them up with more quality scoring chances. Then you could take Oliver Wahlstrom, who is second on the team in goals right now with 5, but is in a little bit of a slump as well, and give him a shot for a game or 2 on the top line with Matthew Barzal and Anders Lee. And, set it up that way so that Wahlstrom can take some of the passes from Barzy and maybe connect. And then move Palmieri to the second line. There is no Brock Nelson right now. Obviously, he's still out of the lineup. But Beauvillier, Palmieri, and then, whoever the center is going to be, that creates a second line that at least on paper has a chance to be a bit successful. And the other thing that I would do if I were Lou Lamoriello right now, and I've thought about it, it's time to bring up and play Golishev. Golishev is an experienced professional. He may not be an NHL professional. He's never played an NHL game during the regular season, but he is a proven goal scorer in the KHL. And while you're certainly adjusting everything to, he's learning the North American game and the different angles and the different style, those narrower rink and the different shooting angles, all of that definitely has to be taken into consideration. It's not the ideal way to bring him along. But you know what? Here's what I know about Golishev. He's not happy being in the AHL. He is aching for a chance to get into the lineup. And given that set of circumstances and the fact that he is an offensive-minded player, but hasn't gotten an opportunity, the Islanders are hurting for goals. Golishev is in your organization. It is worth giving him a try at the very least and see what he could add to the lineup. It certainly, would give the team at least as much offense as Andy Andreoff or Richard Panik. I mean, not to say anything bad about those guys. Panik gave them a little burst of energy, especially in the first game or two that he played. Andreoff did something that very few Islanders have done all year, in that he has a goal in 4 games. But Golishev has more athletic ability, more offensive skill than those two players. And to me, you call him up on an emergency basis, you let him, or on loan, you let him play a couple of games, 3 games, whatever it is, give him a chance, see what he could do. Let the hungry player try to prove to his bosses and to management that he can be a contributor on the NHL level, and give him a shot. Because you know what? 7 goals in 8 games means you can hardly do worse. If he provides a spark, keep him up. If he doesn't provide a spark, if he doesn't show anything, send him back down. And, nothing ventured, nothing gained, I guess, is the sort of cliche I would use. And it's worth a shot. Now, the fourth line, Cizikas, Martin, and Clutterbuck. Again, assuming Casey Cizikas is ready to come back, I'd keep the fourth line intact. If not, you got Ross Johnston, you got Richard Panik, you got a few players who could easily slide into that spot, maybe Otto Koivula, and you go from there. But to me, these are the kind of tweaks right now that the Islanders could make to improve their situation at forward and just try to score a little bit more, because very few teams, playoffs, or even, win a championship, being dead last in the league in goals scored and dead last in the league on the power play. I mean, right now the Islanders are only converting 10.2% of their power play chances, and that is not going to get it over the course of an 82 season. And yeah, when you get Anders back and Brock Nelson back, that'll help. But overall, Islanders need spark, and they need it now, because each game they play, points are slipping away, and this team is getting out from that final playoff spot in the Metropolitan Division and in the Eastern Conference. When we come back, we'll have our Islanders birthday of the day and some more thoughts about this team as the COVID necessitated break continues. More to come on the Locked On Islanders podcast. This episode is brought to you by your friends at BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered all season. More props, odds, and lines than ever before as the football season continues with the march to the playoffs. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the sports action this season. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code LOCKEDON. And for being a listener to the Locked On Islanders podcast, betonline.ag will give you a 50% welcome bonus. That's free money that you could use to place bets on the site. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. Time now for our Islanders birthday of the day. We're going to take you back to the mid-90s, and we want to wish a few days early, 88th birthday to former Islanders Sutter, originally drafted by the Flyers, 4th overall pick in the first round back in 1982, had some great offensive years for the Lethbridge Broncos of the Western Hockey League. Played in Quebec and then joined the New York Islanders for the 94-95 season in the Ron Hextall deal. Spent only 1 year with the Islanders, and remember, 94-95 was a year cut short by a lockout, and he played 27 games for the Islanders, 1 goal, 5 points, and 21 penalty minutes. Then went on to Boston, San Jose, and Calgary, where he ended his NHL career after 2,000 games, 205 goals, 533 points, 1,352 penalty minutes. He also played in 104 playoff games in the NHL, 8 goals, 40 points, and 193 penalty minutes in those games. We're going to go back and look at his better games with Islanders. April 7th, 1985 at Madison Square Garden, Tommy Soderstrom, and meanwhile, as always, when these two rivals meet, you're going to have a game that is intense and that is hard hitting, and this game was absolutely no exception to that rule. Is the Rangers getting on the board short-handed with Kevin Lowe off for interference. Alexei Kovalev scored a shorty, his 11th. Mark Osborne and Brian Leach with the assists at 3:32, and the Isles trailed quickly 1-0. Then the Rangers power play went to work. Dean Chenoweth off for an extra 2 minutes after getting into it with Nick Kyprios and Pat Verbeek. His 11th from Adam Graves and Brian Leach. 2-0 Rangers, both goals coming on special teams. But the Islanders' special teams answered back. Joey Kosher off for roughing. Bob Beers got his second of the season on the power play. Matthew Schneider and Ray Ferraro with the assists at 7:48. And after the first period, the Isles had cut the deficit to 2-1. In the second period, the Islanders tied it on a goal by Travis Green, his second of the year. Chris Marinucci, the only assist at 2:53. We're all even at 2-2. But the Rangers answered back. A little less than 3 minutes later, Mark Messier, his 14th from Steve Larmer and Brian Leach. Time of the goal, 5:40. Isles down 3-2. But late in the period, Travis Green strikes again, ties the game with his third goal of the season. Ziggy Palffy and Brent Severin with the assist at 18:33. After 40 minutes, deadlocked at 3. There was only one goal in the third period. And at 1:59, our Islanders' birthday of the day, Ron Sutter got his only goal as an Islander. It was the game winner, and it helped them beat the Rangers. Came at 1:59. Marty McGinnis, the only assist. Final score in this one, Islanders 4, the Rangers 3. A win over the Rangers, always good. A win at Madison Square Garden, even sweeter. Ron Sutter, Islanders' birthday of the day, 1 goal, a +1. It was the game winner, and he took 4 of the Islanders' 28 shots on goal in this game that tied him for the team lead with teammate Travis Green. For Tommy Soderstrom, 31 saves to earn the win. He faced 34 shots. Mike Richter gave up all 4 goals. He was pulled after the Sutter goal, and Glenn Healy finished up, the former Islander. But the Islanders beating the Rangers 4-3, and the game winner by Ron Sutter. He is our Islanders' birthday. Like we said, it's a little early. His actual birthday is December 2nd, but we want to wish Ron Sutter all the best on coming. There's a ceremony. People got to ring the opening bell on Wall Street. It was a nice for, let's say, to the whole experience of being now. Tough time for this team that threw. Today, I did a little guest appear on the Locked On Flyers podcast talking about the Islanders and their recent struggles. So if you want some more Islanders content, check out this episode of Locked On Flyers. It was great to talk with the co-hosts over there. I want to thank you for making Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On Bets, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets is hosted by your boy Q with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. It's free and available on all platforms. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. And, of course, let's go Islanders.